Good morning, dolls, and welcome to Little Gretchen's workshop. So today is the day that I stain the windows and add the glass. I've been looking forward to this so long. And yes, I am wearing my protective latex gloves while I use the stain. I've been reminded on more than one occasion by one of my lovely dolls, Laura Wiles, and I want her to know that I am practicing safety today. So I'm using a beautiful stain that I found in my collection. I hadn't used it in a while. I definitely lean toward the darker stains. I'm really not a big fan of light wood or natural stains. I like the deeper, darker, vintage looking stains. Now this one is by a company called Varathane and the color is called Jacobean. I will put a link in the description for that. Now this is a penetrating stain, so it goes deep into the layers of the wood to give a really rich, deep color. Now, dolls, I must confess, this color was deep as it was. I didn't stir it all the way to the bottom because when I stir it all the way to the bottom, the color comes out even deeper than what you see here. So I will show you in this next frame what I mean. So when I went to the bottom of the can, this is what I got. It was super, super deep. So I did wipe it off a little bit. But it doesn't bother me because I want my windows to look a little aged and weathered. So that works out well. Now, although they are replacement windows, dolls, I just love aged and distressed things. So you will see weathering, wear, and tear on many things throughout the dress shop and the living quarters of Bess and Janie's new place. Now, dolls, anytime you're working with real wood stain, make sure you work in a well-ventilated area. Now, although this is edited video and these frames are sped up, I did work slowly to make sure I covered each of my pieces very carefully. Be very deliberate in how you place your stain to make sure everything is covered completely. Now here's the part where I create the pieces that lock the glass inside the frame or inside the window. And so I'm cutting pieces that are the same length as my inner frames. So what I'm doing first is laying my glass inside the window frame to make sure it fits properly so I'll know how I'm going to place my pieces of the frame that are going to lock the glass in place. Now here I am because I'm ready to install. I'm peeling off the film. You see that plastic is absolutely beautiful. It's very clear and I'm just loving it because to me it looks just like real glass. Now I'm placing it into my frame and I'm being very careful because I really don't want to touch the glass and get fingerprints on it. But after I get it adjusted in between the actual inner frame, I use another piece of those very thin coffee stir sticks and I'm going to allow them to rest on the glass, but I'm going to glue them to the side walls of the glass. So see where I'm placing my glue? Not on the glass, but on that little wall that goes around the perimeter of the window, which would actually just be considered the glass frame. And you see I'm just adding my glue. Now I am using Gorilla wood glue. My frames are completely dry from the stain and the pieces that I'm adding in have already been stained and dried. So I'm just adding a little dab of the Gorilla wood glue and then gluing that piece to that side wall because it's going to lock the glass in where it won't come out because that piece will be blocking it and keeps it from shifting and just holds it in place really, really nicely. Now I'm trying to be as careful as possible. I did get a little bit of glue there on the acetate, but I'm just wiping it off a little bit with a baby wipe, which is fine. And you just want to secure those pieces to the side. And I did use me some clamps to make sure they locked down really good. And I only had two of those, so I had to use binder clips on the other side of my window. But they worked perfectly because it gave a nice tight hold to make sure the glue dried flat and that those side pieces dried nice and flat. Now again, this is edited video. I had 9 of these windows to do. I did them one at a time very carefully. I took my time to make sure my cuts were nice and neat and that they laid nice and flat when I put them together, because when you look in the window, you don't want to see any kind of distracting carelessness with your assembly of your windows. Now here I'm showing the process one more time, and then I'm going to show you what I put to brace it after the side rails are glued in and have the glass locked down. So I'm just putting those side pieces in on this window as well. Now this part is sped up a little bit, but the process is exactly the same. Adding the glue to the side pieces. And for this one, I just used all binder clips on both sides to make sure that my sides were secure. Now this is the part where I put my last securing piece. I use very same type of stick, the coffee stir stick, cut it to the size of the width of the window. And when I got it to the size of the width of the window, again, I do not glue it to the window. I'm gluing it to the side rails or the side panels. I just add a little dab of glue to the ends of that stick and glue it to the side walls of the window. And you see where the glue is. After that dries, my window is locked in securely. Now that everything is dry, let's see what we got. No doubts, I've been waiting so long to get them to this stage. I really love the way they look. It's a couple more details I want to add, but I just want to pop them in the windows to see how they look. They look really great. They really give the house an alive look. That glass just made all the difference. Dolls, I'm so excited and I have so much to share with you, and we're getting close to installation of the windows. So let me get back to work, and I'm looking forward to seeing you on the next episode of Little Gretchen's Workshop. Bye bye now, dolls.